Hi everyone, welcome back to the next mock interview on this channel. Now, some of you might be bumping on this video for the first time, and what exactly is this mock interview and how you can participate? Let me give you some details about it before I directly jump to the mock interview. Okay, first of all, mock interview is absolutely free for you. You can just send me your resume onto my email and we can schedule a common time and set up the mock interview. Now, during the mock interview, what actually happens? The candidate sends me the resume, I scan the resume, and I ask the question as if I am actually interviewing the candidate. The questions I ask are based on the profile, the experience, and the job which the candidate is applying for. Now, you might be thinking, what if I actually share my data, and are you going to make it public to everyone so that my friends, my colleagues, my company know that, hey, this guy is looking for a change? I understand that. We are not doing that. Whenever I take the mock interview, I make sure that I remove all the personal information, including your name. And the last thing, your CV and all is not getting shared to anyone, it stays with me. So in case if you are someone who is looking for a change, who have a interview and you are afraid that how do I appear, or if you are someone who is just trying to check his or her knowledge on UiPath, feel free to send me the mock interview request. Happy to take it, and then we can take it forward, right? And with that, let's jump to today's mock interview. Okay, so thank you for joining today. I have your resume in front of me, and we would be conducting the mock interview for you. The format of the mock is simple. I'm going to ask questions based on your resume, and then you have to answer me at the end. I'm going to tell you the questions you answered incorrectly and the areas you need to improve upon. Okay,
Okay.
great. So we can get started by having a quick introduction about yourself.
Yeah, I am, and I have a experience of 6 years with UiPath, and I've been in my current company. I'm working as a senior automation developer, and my role is to handle projects individually and also work with a small team. And also, I need to handle the change requests and or also work together with support team to maintain the solutions. And also, we have to test it with organizational standards.
Okay, and how many team members are you managing? Are you working as a lead or a senior developer?
No, I'm just a senior developer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not managing as of like as a team
Mm-hmm.
as of now. But in my previous company, I was like leading two members. Um, but in my current company, we have smaller projects comparatively. So
Mm.
we don't have like we don't need multiple developers in same project. So
Mm.
mostly it's individual projects. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. And how many projects have you done end to end, right, in this span of 6 years, including any 10, 20?
Yeah, about 10 to 15. Yeah.
Okay, 10 to 15, right? Okay, now out of this 10 to 15, right, I want you to talk about any one of the project, right? Whichever you are comfortable talking about. It can be from your current company, one of your past project, anyone is fine, right? Just talk me through what was the
Mhm.
problem statement your automation was trying to resolve, right? What was the
Okay.
core problem of the business which you solved with automation?
Yeah. So I worked with a logistics company in my previous company. So in it, we had to collect the invoices and like extract the data, and there were some validations involved, and then we need to uh, check like check whether some of the validations are correct, and we needed to determine whether to reject or accept that invoice. So we were using ABI Flexi Capture for extraction of the data,
Mhm.
and then after the extraction part, we will use the dispatcher to get that um, value, which will be stored as an Excel already, and it will be get from that Excel, and we will add it into a queue. And then in the performer, we will validate that data. And also as a queue, we were using database since there were a bulk, like a lot of data. At that time, we were not using orchestrator queue. So we were using database instead, so that we could like handle uh, queue and also the data collected from that Excels in the same database.
Okay, got it. Now, it's an invoice processing project where you're extracting data with the help of ABI, right? So, what is
Yeah.
the starting point, right? Where do you get these invoices from? Email?
Yeah, actually, they were placing the invoices in a folder, in
Mhm.
an input folder, and
Okay.
Abby automatically picks it up from there
Is
and
it an attended
performs all.
automation or it's an unattended automation?
From there, it's an unattended. Like I can't actually say it's totally unattended because we needed to do some validations in the first half of it. Like for about 6 months, we were training the board, like training the ABI, so that there were like changes in invoices, and also we needed to involve manually as well. But otherwise, it was an unattended automation, apart from the ABI part.
Okay, so what happens, right? So the business people keep the data into a folder, right? Seems like it's a shared folder,
Yeah,
right? From there, ABI
yeah,
picks it, right? So when you say the ABI is picking it, it's a UiPath robot which is configured to work with ABI, right?
yeah.
So who triggers that UiPath robot?
So it was scheduled to work I'm not sure whether it was daily or twice in a day,
Hmm.
but it would be triggered like that, and then it will check all the files using
Hmm. Hmm.
FlexiLite Studio, and it will be extracting the data into several Excels. Like for one invoice, it would have one Excel workbook, and it would have multiple sheets with like tabular data or
Hmm.
individual data like that.
But where is Q coming in this picture now?
So we needed to get that data from the Excel and
Hmm.
store it somewhere for the performer, right? So uh, we were storing it into a database. So the queue was also a data table in the database, and
No, but
we
why do
only
you need a
store.
queue, right? So you had a process. You read the data
Mhm.
from the folder, right? You extracted the information with the help of ABI, correct?
Yeah,
ABI created the Excel, correct?
yeah, yeah.
Now, why do I need a queue now? What is the performer doing?
Validation. So
Okay,
since
what
there will
happens
be
in the
multiple.
performer? So, for example, there is an Excel, right? You processed, let's say, 10 invoices. You added
Mhm.
10 items to the queue, right? I got what you are trying
Yeah,
to say. You got 10 items in the queue. What happens to those
yeah.
items in the queue now?
Yeah, so these queue items are also connected with other data tables, which has more data from the Excel, and
Hmm.
these are also pulled. The queue is created during the dispatcher, but the other um, data is pulled accordingly using performer, and then performer will validate some data. There were like
Hmm.
some protocols to maintain. So it will validate the data to check whether the taxes are correct and everything like that.
Hmm.
So and if it meets the protocols, then it will like mark that queue item as approved, and otherwise it will mark it as rejected.
Okay, but then how will the human validation happen, right? So human is going to the queue, the human user will go to the queue and it will mark the items as accepted, rejected. Where is the
No,
human validation?
that part is human validation is in the ABI part. Like ABI picks up the data and goes to the Flexi Layout Studio, right? And in the verification station, um, we can set the confidence value if we like ABI is confident for 100 percentage, it
Mhm.
will directly build that Excel. If it's
Okay.
not confident,
Mhm.
we need to validate it in the verification station, and then it
For
will be
which
creating.
user will open the verification station, right? So for example, I am the business user. I put the file at
Mhm.
10 a.m. in the morning. Okay.
Yeah.
You trigger the
Mhm.
automation in the evening, let's say at 5 p.m., which is an unattended automation,
Yeah.
right? How would
Yeah.
I know whether the file which I have put needs a validation from my end? Would I receive an email? Would I get a email, mobile notification?
Yeah,
You,
actually, we were not using users to verify it. So we were using our support team to do the same. So
so how would the
they
support
were
team know?
checking daily.
How would the support team know whether the invoice data is correct or not, right? See, support team are the technical guys, right? Invoice
Mhm.
is
Yeah,
kept by the business. So if you are
yeah.
in a support position, right, how would you know? And how would the support guy know, first of all, right? When I should validate, when I should not validate.
Yeah,
You
actually,
understood the
we were
question?
not sending. Yeah, got the question. But in our scenario, we were not sending any emails or anything. We were not automating that part, but um, they were checking it daily. Yeah, that was a manual task.
But the support team is a technical support, right? How would they know what I need to check in the invoice? So, for example, you are in the support, right? And I send you a business invoice who is like ordering of 100 chairs for the office. How would the
Mhm.
support guy know what to validate?
Don't, no, they don't need to validate the amounts. They just need to check whether the in from the invoice, whether the invoice number is getting picked up, whether the table is getting picked up, something like that.
But if it is that easy, then why can't we just write these rules directly into the automation? Why do you need a human validation?
Yeah, and at that time, yeah, it was done like that.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
no problem.
Now if I get the same project, I think I will automate that part as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now if I coming to that question, right? So if I, let's say, tell you that you
Mhm.
have now to include a human validation into the same project, right?
Yeah.
What is the best way in UiPath today to get the human involved into the projects while the robot is executing?
Yeah. So if we are using document understanding instead of ABI, we can use Action Center for that validation purpose.
Mhm.
So we can send the data to Action Center pending items, and then or we can assign to somebody. For example, the user. We can assign to the user, and they can go to the Action Center and validate the data.
Okay, got it. Now, for the same use case, right? Let's say tomorrow the volume increases and now you have 10,000 items, right? I
Yeah.
want to run this robot into 5 different machines. Okay, because to
Okay.
process
Mhm.
10,000 item, it will take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So how can we actually divide the 10,000 transaction into 5 different robots?
Okay.
Understood the question?
Yeah. So if we are using orchestrated queues, we can uh, run the performer in multiple robots. Like if we set up the machine and like give access to the database to all of them, then we can actually run it in different boards at the same time.
By putting it into the database.
Yeah, in my project, it was already in the database. So, we can use the orchestrator queue for the queue part, but
Mhm.
for the other data to be stored, I think it will be like since it's a complex logic of database, I think it would be better to like store the data in database and pull it from there. And board should be able to access all the data, like all the board whichever we are using to run it.
But how would you then write the status back to the database, right? So, okay, we got into the database, everything working fine, right? Now, what we have to do is
Mhm.
once the thing is processed, right, we need to write the data back to the Excel, oh, sorry, database, right? Either it is
Database, yeah.
successful or how do we do that?
Yeah. So if we are using like maybe we can use execution query activity for that, and we can insert data uh, like using queries. If we have validated the data, then we can enter the data as approved, or if in another project, if we need to write something into a different data table or on the same data table itself, we can either alter the data table, sorry, we can I don't remember the query
No, no, it's fine.
exactly,
No,
but
we don't need the query. That's fine. Okay. Now, talking of the Abby, right, in your intelligent processing, right? So you processed a lot of documents with the Abby, right? And Abby is kind of an extraction platform to get the data out of the documents, right? So over a period of time,
yeah.
we need to train Abby,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So the question is,
Mhm.
how do you actually retrain or improve the accuracy of the OCR which Abby is using? So you have to retrain it, right?
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
retrain?
So there are two ways to train the bee. One will be the first part of it will be the Flexi Studio, in which we will upload some if it's invoice, we will upload some sample invoices, and we will assign like which are the values to be extracted. And uh, compared to document understanding, I think Abhi has a little bit more advanced part to it. Like we can set anchors and um, like say whether we need the left part of it or the right part of it, and like that we can add it in the Flexi Studio. And after the Flexi Studio part, when Abby is running, we can constantly train the Abby using the verification station. So in verification station, the output of the Flexi Studio will be appearing as pages, and we can select if the Abby is not detecting some pages, we can select saying that this is also part of the invoice. And also after that, if it's not extracting some of the data or having lesser confidence, or there are some missing values, we can again reselect those values from the verification station. And even though in bulk cases, um, it might not, like if we are putting bulk cases in the folder, it will be acting like a bunch in
So I
memory.
have to
So
do it manually.
uh, yeah, in this case we have to do it manually. Yeah.
Right.
For but
But in one side, we
in
are saying that we are doing automation to save the cost. And then
yeah.
to train the thing, I need to go to Abby, Flexi Studio, upload it, retrain it, right? Don't you think it is an overhead?
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure whether, like I did this 2 years back, 2, 3 years back. I'm not
Mhm.
sure whether we have an automated way to do that now.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move to the next question, right? So I have to do a process for a support company. Okay. The support company is
Mhm.
receiving a lot of emails, right? So I am in the customer support, right?
Mhm.
I can send any email. My laptop is not
Okay.
working, my mouse is not working. I am a customer, I am from India, I have this problem, right? Now I want to write an
Mhm.
automation and I want to extract the key information from the support emails, right? And we want to
Okay.
actually know whether the email which I have received, is it a hardware issue or is it a software issue? So for example, if the support guy receives an email saying that my keyboard is not working, I should classify that email as a hardware issue. But if they say that
Yeah.
my password is not working, right? Or
Mhm.
let's say my account is
Mhm.
locked, that is kind of a software issue, right? Let's only talk about hardware
Yeah.
and software, right? So this is the automation which
Mhm.
we have to build, or this is the problem statement, right? How I can address this challenge in UiPath.
Okay. So you need to classify those mails to different folders, or
No, no, we need to classify as is it a hardware issue and if it is a software issue. If it is a hardware issue, then
okay.
allocate that email to the hardware team. If it is a software issue, so basically
Okay.
you need to read the content of the email first, right? And then from that you
Yeah.
need to identify whether it is an hardware or it's a software.
Okay. So, if we are using Outlook, then we can use Outlook activities, Office 365 activities for that,
Okay,
and using that we can get the email list, and
okay.
then we can uh, uh, check the subject line and the content, and check for the keywords using regex or some just string dot contains.
No, but
And
how much you would write, right? Keyboard, mouse, printer, desktop, monitor, table is broken. It would be a lot of
yeah,
keywords, right?
yeah,
Spelling mistakes
mm,
again. Somebody will write keyboard in capital. Somebody will just mention that my keys are not working, right? Somebody would just say
yeah,
keyboard is broken. Somebody would say that I am not able to type. That is also a keyboard issue, right? So
yeah.
regex does not work. You
Okay.
got why regex does not work? Keywords will
Yeah,
not work,
I
right, in
got
this
that.
situation here.
Yeah, I think maybe AI integration, like AI center would work, but and I haven't worked with that, so
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay, you haven't worked, then it's
I'm not
absolutely
sure.
fine, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now the next question is how do you migrate an automation from one environment to other environment, let's say from development to UAT and then to production? How do you migrate?
So uh, normally we have like uh, several tenants to like for developer there will be a tenant, and then for tester there will be one, and then for production there will be another tenant. So uh, in develop side, we use the studio and develop everything, and publish it into the dev tenant, and
Mhm.
from there we can download the Nugget package and upload it to the production tenant, or
How
uh,
will we upload?
yeah.
Who will upload
So we
basically?
can go to, the support team usually does that.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, so uh, they will download the package and go to the packages, and there we can uh, upload it for the particular package, and they need to assign the processes using add process.
Okay, okay, got it. Okay. Okay, so I have one last question to you, right? So your bot is working fine in one environment, right? So let's say in the development it was working fine, but when you moved it to
Mhm.
UAT, it is failing there
Yeah,
because of some selector issues. Okay,
yeah, okay.
how would you fix
Mhm.
that?
Uh, so the one thing we can use is the UiPath's way of recording the robots, and we can see where it's failing, and then and also we can check the logs on where it's failing, and we can check whether there is a difference in the production environment visibly, and in the dev environment from the dev environment, and if there is a visible change, we can fix it in the studio itself and uh, use it in production. Otherwise, we can use like uh, an object repository. I haven't actually worked with it, but
Mhm.
uh, we can use an repository for dev, and a different object repository for production, because there will be selector changes in dev and production. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I am done with my set of questions, right? So before I come to your feedback, right, let's do a self-assessment, right? What do you think? How was your interview?
I think I need to improve a lot,
Mhm.
both in my communication and also some of the, like, I need to brush up my older projects.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, see, comms wise, I think it's fine, right? Communication skills is fine. I was able to understand whatever you are trying to convey, right? So, I don't see comm skills as a challenge. I see
Mhm.
the other problem, which is like your project and the way you have explained it to me, right? So
Mhm.
basically, you could have explained any project, right? But you choose to explain the one where you are doing AB, then you do manual validation, you load to Excel, then you do something. It's a good project, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but if you remember my question, the question was, give me the problem statement.
Yeah.
And what you gave me was a technical answer that I do with AB, I do
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
this, right? You never told me what is the problem your automation is trying to solve. First feedback is listen to the question carefully, right? Now, when we came to
Mhm.
the project, right, you have given me a lot of different things which does not fit into the right area when you say that it is an enterprise project. Yes, you might have done it in the way when
Mhm.
you have done it, right? But since now you are applying for a senior developer slash lead role, right? And coming from a lead,
Mhm.
that if I'm looking for a lead in my company and the lead says that, okay, this is how we used to do it, I don't know the answer, right? Then it shows that you don't know the complete end-to-end picture, right? So choose the project
Mhm.
which you have complete thing, right? And at a senior level, choose the project which you have actually done the deployment, you know everything about the project. Okay. Now,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
second problem which I see is uh, you have not upskilled for a long time, right? So the question to that answer, right? How would you divide the work into the different robot? It is simply like you can schedule the same robot into something which is called multi robots. Orchestrator queue does that, right? I can upload all the 10,000 items to the queue, and I can run that queue into 5 different robots, and orchestrator automatically will divide the workload into the different robots. No need to do anything. You take that question to the database, putting it there, uploading it there. Yes, that is also an option, but it is an overhead, right? So
Mhm.
simple thing, we are making it complex, right? So
Mhm.
there, right? Then you answered me correctly the things which you did with Abby, like Abby Studio, uploading it, reloading it, right? But then I ask you a question that you are doing it manually, so it is an overhead, right? And you don't have an answer for that. because at a senior level, you need to understand that we are doing automation to save time, to save money, right? If you are saving money one side and then again doing that side does not make the sense, right? And then who
Yeah.
is doing the validation? Support guys are doing the validation. That does not work like that, right? So if you think like it, right? So if you have a team where you have resumes, which is a business data, how is the support guy going to validate, right? So you need to put the items carefully and tell only the things to the interviewer which you can explain about the project, right? Now coming to that question of outlook, right? Again, the same problem. You are still trying to resolve everything with the knowledge which you have, which is like, I would try to read the email, we'll go with the keyword automation. That works, right? But now UiPath and technology have evolved to AI. We have evolved to generative AI. We have Gen AI activities available. We have comms mining available. So which clearly shows that you have not explored any of this area, and that is a problem if you are looking for a new change, a new job, right? Because RPA is done now. People have moved to intelligent automation, and now people are moving to robotic process agentic process automation, APA, right? And now if you are still not able to give the basic question of intelligent automation, that becomes a problem, right? So what is the feedback? The feedback for you is you need to upskill yourself as a lead. And your resume wise, everything is fine. I went through the resume, that looks good, but we need to add more of the AI and the generative AI and agentic related stuff, because your CV is plain RPA developer CV. So you need to upskill yourself. AI center is not there, document understanding is missing, integration services is missing. You might not have got chance to work on it, but you can always go to cloud.uipath.com, sorry, academy.uipath.com, and do all of these things from there, right? And add it back to your resume. And then not every problem has to be solved with automation. As a senior resource, you should know that what are the other things which are available today in the market to cater the same problem statement, right? So for that selector problem which I ask you, right? UiPath has got something which is called a healing agent,
Yeah, I
right?
forgot about that. Yeah.
So yeah, so if I would have directly asked you what is an healing agent, you might have answered me, right? So which
Yeah.
clearly shows that you have not upskilled for a long time, and which you need to do now, right? So start working on these things, enhance, or I would say elevate your resume from an RP developer to a intelligent processing developer, IPA resume, and then maybe to agentic. Agentic is very new, so it's okay if you don't know agentic, that's absolutely fine, but at least you need to know the intelligent automation now, right? And for senior level, you need to have this end-to-end picture, not just the technical part. Okay, so that would be my feedback. Now over to you if you have any questions for me.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Okay, do you think this is helpful?
Yeah, really helpful. Actually, this is like uh, I was cross-checking. Like I haven't attended interviews in a while, so I was just checking my knowledge and everything. So yeah, I know where I need to focus on. Yeah,
Okay, okay, great then. All the
thank
best
you.
for your live interviews. And if you have any questions or anything you need help with, you have my email ID. You can drop me an email. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.